There he is. Black Jack Massarone.
So what's Jack Massarone like?
A boring 747. Kind of soggy, you want to know the truth.
Jehovah's Witnesses are more interesting.
Speaking of witnesses...
WRAT.
Jesus Christ, another one now. No wonder the papers are calling this the year of the rat.
Jack Massarone wears a few different hats.
You hear that, Mr. Maserone Brothers Construction?
And he also asks Tony for inside help with bids and other projects.
Listen, my buddy in City Plan Check says they just pulled a permit to turn the old bus station into a mixed use. The thing is, Zellman still hasn't given me a number.
Mixed-use development is a development project that provides more than one use or purpose within a shared building or development area.
North from the Museum of Trucking. Because of the vote, Omni is going to put up a hotel with a galleria on the first floor.
Or cement. Or everything.
Just like a mixed-use development may contain a variety of different places, apartments, a shopping mall, an outdoor recreational area, etc., Jack also has his hand in a lot of different projects and bids, of course with the help of Tony Soprano and other connections that he has. They're all part of this little off-the-books, corrupt ecosystem. Believe it or not, Jack was only in 3 episodes total. It seems like he was in more, though that may be from having a hand in so much business. Basically, anything with construction was fair game. And we know there's a whole lot of construction on The Sopranos and in real life, too. You know what they say? More cement, more everything.
Take your hat off. Relax.
Yeah, I just started on the Rogaine.
What else does Tony help him with?
The challenges of contemporary urban development.
If I were a carpenter.
We have our no-show and no-work jobs.
What floor tiles?
Last night, somebody hijacked a trailer.
This site is shut down until further notice.
Joint fitters, like all black artisans, has been shut out of the union.
So as we see, there are a lot of little or big issues that can come into play with these kinds of arrangements. Even with everything above board, construction projects often run into obstacles or delays for many reasons. So you can probably imagine that when we add all of these extra issues on top from the organized crime side of things, it's bound to make things even messier.
I just wish my mother could have seen it.
Oh, well, that sounds sweet, doesn't it?
Well, wherever she is, I'm sure she's proud.
Actually, I think I know exactly where she is, and it's pretty fucking hot.
Did anybody there have horns? Or buds for horns? Those goat bumps?
Sounds like Jack Massarone may have had similar issues with his own mother.
You were told the Joint Fitters Union is under my uncle's jurisdiction.
We go get our joints capped.
Wait, Polly, not that kind of joint.
The Joint Fitters Union, it's all his, okay?
You're Teddy Generetti, aren't you? The shop steward for Local 184.
Guilty. Are you a joint fitter?
We hear quite a lot about the Joint Fitters Union throughout the show, and once in a while we see them too.
Works for the Joint Fitters Union, didn't somebody say? Runs their, labor management fund outside the Fed's oversight.
Between the Joint Fitters and the carpenters, those envelopes are light over 10% each week.
It couldn't wait, okay? I promised to load to Lenny down the Joint Fitters Union.
I feel it too.
Whenever I watch this scene of Tony and Jack in the parking lot, I think not just of the Rat Pack scene later on, but also Puss, when Tony tells Carmela that he's probably at a TGI Fridays in Arizona.
I took in Arizona. You know, Steak got all the TGI Fridays. He loves their wings.
You've been in my restaurant. Problem with the Sacchatelli, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they added this little part in about Jack having a problem with something at Vesuvio, either to make Jack look like even more of an ass, or as another example of Artie doing something sloppy, like when there was a fly in the salad, another random example.
So they go through labor. Big deal. Try a prostate exam.
Sometimes what happens in here is like taking a shit.
Yes, okay. Although I preferred to think of it more like childbirth.
Trust me. It's like taking a shit.
Another thing Jack had a problem with was messing around with fiber optic cables and floor tiles from the Esplanade construction site.
Last night, somebody hijacked a trailer.
This is great. And I usually don't like bonding on.
Listen, any chance you can ask Ron if this falls under the same arrangement?
Kind of soggy, you want to know the truth.
Now, if we ask ourselves when Jack began cooperating with the FBI, Here we are in the first episode of season 3, just after they determined that 16 bump and Saro compost. So they're sort of debriefing and asking themselves, okay, what's the state of play right now? Who do we have as an asset or as a resource, if anyone?
So, RICO-wise, the airline tickets, mail and wire fraud, especially if the mother testifies in exchange for immunity.
I say focus on his garbage business.
Extortion, interstate trucking.
So we don't have construction here, at least not according to the FBI in their conversation. They talk about garbage, interstate trucking, wire fraud, logistics, but not construction. We see at the end of season 3, the FBI is still pretty desperate, hence the introduction of Danielle from Whippany. So my best guess is that it's sometime in late season 4, after the Danielle undercover op falls through, that they get Jack.
I was hoping you'd be here.
So how did Tony find out that Jack Massarone was a rat? He was tipped off by Patsy Parisi that one of his meetings with Jack was staked out by the FBI. So then, what's the smoking gun? Does Tony find a wire under his hat? Does he see Jack meeting with someone who looks like he's from the FBI? No. It's when Jack tells him that he looks like he's lost some weight.
I gotta tell you, you shouldn't go out and eat up there in Fairfield no more. I went to collect for my cop up there, and he gave me a heads up.
You never know who knows who and who's going to happen to be somewhere at any given moment and see something that may seem small, but ends up being a really big deal to the person who hears about it on the receiving end.
Hey, wait a second. Before you say anything, have you lost a little weight?
Everything else okay? Good EKG and shit, huh?
Yeah, taking shots. Hey. Hey, you want to pat this down too?
Been wanting to talk to you.
Yeah. Don't want to talk to you.
Relax. It's not worth losing your hair over.
Oh yeah, and whatever happened to that Rat Pack painting?
You know, I knew all this constant hopping on art was going to cause trouble.
No love golf.
Like Jack Massarone.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, it's sad when they go young like that.
When they go?
Said I look like I lost some weight.
Oh.
Mother.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on Black Jack Massarone and the Joint Fitters Union. What do you think?